Every Wednesday night, we have approximately 20 kids from age 4.5 through completing 5th grade come to the church, and we memorize Bible verses with them, we play games with them, we have a group lesson with them, we just interact with them and teach them about God's gospel.
When we started to run Awana, it was a bit out of necessity that the program might not carry on. So we just kind of felt God's tap to do this, and
it's more like a giant shove.
Yeah, giant shove. Yeah, that's really more what it was.
The current leader had stepped down, and there was a need, and we were like, no, that's not what we need to be doing. We'll help. We'll do anything, but and here we are, and it's been good. And I think God's blessed us from being faithful about following that nudge.
How have I changed through serving in Awana? Patience is something that's probably not one of my gifts. And when you're working with little kids, you learn pretty quickly that, God's pointed out to me that I don't have the patience I'd like, but so I feel like I've changed. I've become more patient, hopefully.
You have. This ministry has allowed me to be more comfortable not being in control all the time. I am very type A and very much about organization and, this needs to happen at this certain time. And Awana is a little bit of a fly by the seat of your pants kind of ministry. We have certain volunteers some nights, we have no volunteers other nights, and we kind of have to wing it. So I think over the course of this year, I've been much more comfortable just changing on the fly and making sure it works. We had a lesson once that wasn't even really planned, but it was the lesson we talked about baptism, and yes. It was really cool because we were going to talk to Sarah about her baptism, and it turned into talking about baptism and then realizing maybe they didn't really understand what baptism was about, and then talking about the gospel of Christ, and that message was, kind of an impromptu night that turned into 8 kids wanting to be baptized and a good handful of kids accepting Jesus. It was a really, really great night. That was one of those nights you go home and really feel like, for all the stress of getting there and making sure everything's ready, that those are the moments that make it all worth it.
It is a kind of ministry that you can just kind of walk into and be a helping set of hands and make a big impact. If
you like playing games with kids, you can come in and play games with kids for 30 to 40 minutes and go home, and it can be what you need it to be. So it's probably the least scary ministry, unless of course you're afraid of children, and then you should not go. What does God want from my life? He wants me to know that I was created for a purpose, and He wants me to know that I am loved by Him. And I feel like we live in a world that kids don't know that anymore, and to be part of a program that teaches kids that is really amazing. I mean, I feel very privileged that we get to do this.
And I think sometimes the most amazing thing is when you have a child that you can tell just hasn't really seen God yet, hasn't experienced that yet, and when you see that moment, it's just like it's a aha moment.
I came here for Hannah's dedication and Abby's baptism. And the next week I came back, and I know why now, but at the time I didn't know why. And I wanted nothing to do with church, but I just kept coming back. I was sitting with a friend, Bernie, and Pastor Doug asked Rachel and Ricky to come up, and anybody that wanted, to accept Christ in their life to come up. And it hit me like a brick. And I started crying. I couldn't stop crying. And I think Bernie knew. And Bernie said, "Are you ready?" And I said, "Yes." And that's what started it. I started serving right after I was saved. So before I was saved, I really didn't have much of a life. And I had to retire from work, so I was home. And I really didn't have a life. Well, at first I thought I was doing it just to help Renee because I saw her running around. But I realized that's where God wanted me to be. Now I'm passionate about just connecting with people. Because I enjoy people, but being an introvert, you want to be with people, but you're afraid to. So that's a great journey for me now, is just getting to know people and enjoying them. I feel like everyone's family here. I get very excited to come here and to serve, and one of my spiritual gifts is hospitality, surprise. And it's just the people here, just everyone that's here. I just feel like I'm coming home. I look forward to serving. I really do. I can't wait. I get so excited, you know, when I come here on Sunday. I just wish people could take a chance and serve in some capacity. Don't know what that is. You know, they'll know. And just try it out. And if you don't like it, you can always try something else. Because like I said, both things that I do, I didn't do it because I wanted to do it. I did it to help out. And I thank God that happened.
My name is Mark, and I love serving our church.
My name is Carrie, and I love serving our church.
My name is Bobbi, and I love serving my church. And I do. I really do.